Hey everyone, today I'm going to be completing a live SEO audit on a random chiropractor website that's currently ranking on the second page of Google. I'm going to be reviewing it and providing you guys with a list of SEO recommendations that I would do to help it rank from the second page to the first page of Google. I'm an SEO expert with Lead Tagger, and we do SEO for chiropractors, so let's get started. Here at Lead Tagger, we categorize our SEO tactics into four main pillars. We call them four main pillars of SEO. The first pillar is called indexation. So that's where we analyze how well Google can read your site and whether or not the pages on your site are being properly indexed in Google. The second pillar of SEO is called authority. So this is where we analyze the number of backlinks and the quality of backlinks pointing to your site. And we compare that with your competitors that are outranking you. So a backlink is basically a link from a different website. So the more backlinks you get, the easier it is for your site to rank. The third pillar of SEO is called content. So this is where we look at the on-page content on your site and we check to see if the right keywords are in place, the content is correct, and whether or not it is optimized with SEO in mind. And the fourth and last pillar of SEO is called experience. So this is where we look at whether or not your site is mobile friendly, whether or not it loads quickly, and if it has other elements that will help the overall user experience for anyone who is browsing your site. So with that said, let's jump over to google.com and let's look for a random chiropractor website. So I am based out in Chino, California. So I'm just gonna look for a chiropractor in Chino, California. So first up, we do see a Google ad here within the Google My Business Listings section. So people are investing in Google ads that will show up in the maps. And if you don't have a Google My Business listing yet, I highly recommend you create one so you have an opportunity to show up here. I do see Yelp is ranking number 1 in Google. So I recommend you making sure your Yelp profile is up to date and that you can have an opportunity to rank on this top 10 best chiropractors. So make sure you have a really great Yelp profile. And as I scroll down here, I do see quite a bit of other just chiropractic offices that are listed here. So the competition is there. People are doing SEO on their site, it looks like. So let's jump to the second page of Google to see what we can optimize. So let's do chinochiro.com. Let's take a look at this particular site and let's do a live audit on this. All right, so this is the site that we will be doing a live SEO audit on. And before we dive in, I'm going to jump over to PLUTIO. This is a project management tool that we use with all of our SEO clients. We have SEO project plans that have different projects, and we update this to communicate with our clients on what we have completed so far in our engagement. So this is an excellent tool for everyone who wants to stay on track with projects. If you want a free 14-day trial on this project management tool, click the link in the description to try it out. So we are first going to start off with the first SEO pillar, which is indexation. So we will analyze all of the indexation checkpoints to see what's complete and what still needs to be worked on. So the first thing I want to check is see whether or not you have any duplicate pages on your site. The reason why we don't want any duplicate pages or duplicate content is that we don't want to confuse Google as to what page they should rank. So each page on your site should be unique and there should not be any other page like that on your site or anywhere else on the web. So a couple of ways we check to see whether or not you have duplicate content is we check to see if the www, if the non-www redirects to the www. So I'm going to remove that. And let's see if it redirects. Perfect. Another way is to check to see if the trailing slash at the end of the URL redirects to the non-trailing slash. Great, that works. So I'm going to move this duplicate content issue checkpoint over to the complete. So at first glance, it doesn't look like you have any duplicate content issues. So I'm just going to move that over to the complete column. Next one is switch to HTTPS. That essentially means that your site is secure. In order to have a secure site, you need an SSL certificate installed. I'm going to jump to your site, and it says it's not secure, but let me just do a double check here. Yes, so your site is not secure, so I recommend you purchasing an SSL certificate with your website hosting and having that installed. So this is going to be over to the to-do column. Next one is to set up Google Search Console and Google Analytics. So first, let me jump to the page source to look at the HTML. And let me look to see if you have Google Analytics installed. Great, it looks like you have Google Analytics installed. Now there is no way to immediately check to see if you have Google Search Console set up. So I'm going to move the Google Search Console to the to-do and the Google Analytics to complete. So Google Search Console is a tool from Google that tells you the performance of your site. It tells you what kind of keywords you're ranking for as well. So it's a really powerful tool that every website should have. The next one is to check to see whether or not you have a robots.txt file. So a robots.txt file is essentially a plain text file that instructs search engines where they can and can't go on your site. So we only want Google to go to the important pages, not the pages that are irrelevant. So this really helps with indexation. So let's see if you have a robots.txt file. Perfect. You do have one, so I'm going to move that over to complete. Next one is create an XML sitemap. So an XML sitemap is basically a map that tells search engines where to find the important content on your site. So this is essentially a list of all the pages that Google should be reading and indexing. So this really helps with indexation as well. So let's see if you have a sitemap. Perfect, you do have a sitemap and it has all of the pages on your site. So this really helps Google understand how many pages you have and what pages they should read. So the next element is install Yoast SEO or a similar SEO plugin. So Yoast SEO is primarily for WordPress websites. Let's see what kind of website you have. I'm not sure if you have a WordPress website. Let's see, is it Wix or... So it looks like you have a different CMS, but I'm not exactly sure what it is at first glance. So regardless, I recommend you making sure you have some type of SEO tool installed in the back end of your site. All right, so this is the to-do list that you need to work on for your indexation checkpoints, and this is all of the complete elements for the indexation checkpoint. So the next pillar is going to be content. So let's look at the content on your site. I always like to look at the metadata. So that's the title tag, meta description, alt image tags, header tags, things like that. So let's first look at the title tag. So a title tag is essentially the page title. It also shows up in Google as well. So this highlighted section here is called the title tag. So you want to make sure you have the best keywords in your title tag so you have an opportunity to rank. In your case, this is yours. I do like the call to action with the $49 promotion you have. I think that's a really great element there. I do recommend you adding the word Chino, California location because your office is in Chino, so you want to make sure you rank for chiropractor in Chino, California. So you definitely need to work on your title tag. Next one is to see if you have created an optimized meta description. So the meta description is this highlighted part here. This really helps people understand what the page is about, and this really helps encourage people to click onto your site. So let's see if you have a meta description. Great, so you do have a meta description. So it's Bakes Chiropractic Health Center in your local chiropractor in Chino, serving all your needs. Call us today. I think this is an okay meta description. I do recommend adding the $49 promotion you have. I think really hitting that home in the meta description will really work. And also tweaking the text here to make it sound a little more clear, because it just says, Chiropractic Health Center is your local chiropractor in Chino, serving all of your needs. You can definitely make some tweaks around here, maybe add a little bit more keywords. So I'm going to move the meta description over to do. The next one is to see whether or not you have an H1 tag. So an H1 tag is essentially a header tag. A header tag wraps around the content of your page, and it tells Google the overall organization of the content, and it's really helpful to make sure you have right keywords in your header tag. So let's see what your header tag is for the homepage. Okay, so your header tag is welcome to your Chino Chiropractor Bakes Chiropractic Health Center. So I think, let's see. So this is the H1 tag. I think this one is an okay H1 tag. It might be a little too long. I would recommend you shortening it and maybe just putting Chino Chiropractor Health Center, something along those lines, making it a lot shorter. Let me go to a services page to see what you have for your H1. So let's do acupuncture. And let's see what you have here. So I'm gonna just inspect. And I think this might be the H1 tag. So let me just see. Yeah, that is the H1 tag, and it's acupuncture in Chino, California. This is a really great H1 tag. So your services pages I think are okay, but it's a home page that needs work. So I'm just gonna move that over to do. Last one is optimize your images with descriptive alt image tags. So alt image tags explain to Google what your image is about. Google doesn't have eyes, so they can't really look at images. So in order for them to understand what the image is about, they read the alt image tags. So you want to make sure you have keywords within those tags. So let's stay on this acupuncture page. It looks like you have an image here. So let's see if you have alt image tag for this particular page. Woman getting acupuncture in Chino, California. Okay, great. So you do have an alt image tag here. Excellent. One thing to note that I wanted to note is that this image is pretty large. It basically fills up my entire screen. So this isn't a good user experience. I recommend making this a lot smaller. Making it smaller just makes it more easy for the page to be read, and it also helps with speed. So you want to make sure your site is fast. One way to do that is to make sure you have much smaller images. So let's go back to the alt image tags. So this is complete. Great, so let's jump over to the next pillar of SEO, and that's authority. So this is where we look at the authority of your site, so looking at the backlinks. So a backlink is essentially a link from another website pointing to your website. Google they analyze your backlinks, and the better backlinks you have, the better quality, the more quantity of backlinks, the easier it is for you to rank. So to analyze backlinks, I use a tool called SEMRUSH. SEMRUSH is a marketing tool that really provides you with some really good SEO analysis and competitive analysis. If you want a free 7-day trial of this tool, click the link in the description to get a free 7-day trial. And you could use this and really provide you with a good overall health of your site and a list of all of your competitors. So let's look at what kind of backlinks you have. Let me go and check to see. Go back to your domain, and I'm going to copy and paste your domain here. All right, so it looks like you have 130 backlinks from 21 sites. Your authority score is a 1. So that's pretty low. So an authority score is a score out of 100 that SEMRUSH provides you to give you an overall view of the health of your backlinks. So you want an authority score that's a little higher than 1, because the 1 is the lowest. So let's compare yours to one of your competitors. So I'm going to jump to the first page and see what competitor you have. So this one, Chino Chiropractor. So this is probably your biggest competitor in Google. So let's see what kind of backlinks they have. So I'm going to jump back to SEMRUSH. So again, you have 130 backlinks from 21 sites. Let's see how many they have. They have 43 backlinks from 11 domains, and their authority score is 0. So what this tells me is that the pages that are ranking here, backlinks do play a role, but I think the on-page SEO elements play a larger role here. So I highly recommend you really focus on your on-page SEO, really make sure your website is optimized with SEO in mind, and then focus on your backlinks. Let me take a look at what kind of sites are linking to your competitor. So injured care. I'm just going to quickly open these to look at the quality. All right, so this just looks like a blog website about injuries. This is some type of, I think, some French site that doesn't really look like a healthy site. And then we do see Mind Body Ease, which is like a blog site. So if you want a list of these backlinks, just let me know and I can download this and provide you with this list of backlinks so you have that competitive analysis data on hand. So I'm going to exit out of these backlinks here and jump here. So I'm going to move this over to do. Also, create and add links to local directories. So you want to make sure your business is on as many local directories as possible. So Yelp, Google My Business, Foursquare, City Search, White Pages, Yellow Pages, so on and so forth. When you create a profile and you add a link pointing to your site, that's a backlink. And that really helps with your rankings. So definitely have your business on as many local directories as you can. Next one is update your Google My Business page and create Google My Business posts. So Google posts are almost like mini ads or social media posts that show up in Google search in your Google My Business listing. So this really helps with building that trust with relevant content for your customers. So let's go to the maps and let's see if you have a Google My Business page and whether or not it is updated. All right, so you do have one. You have 48 reviews and your overall rating is a 5. So that's excellent. That's really, really great. You have a link pointing to your site, which is excellent. However, you don't have Google My Business posts. So that's something that you can easily create with your Google My Business page. And it's basically social media posts within this Google My Business listing. So that will really help build that trust with your community. So I'm going to move that over to do. All right, so I'm going to move over to the last pillar of SEO, which is experience. So I like to also focus on a little bit of the social media elements within the experience column, experience pillar. So whenever you share a link to your site on Twitter or Facebook or any social media platform, you know how within the post you have that header image, headline, and description for whatever link you're sharing? Well, that's pulled from HTML code that's called Twitter cards markup or open graph tags. That code is read by social media sites that will basically display your link in the best and proper way. So in order to set that up, you need that HTML added to the backend. So let's see if you have Twitter cards added. And it doesn't look like you have Twitter cards, but let me see if you have open graph tags. And you, let's see, you do have open graph tags, which is great. So I'm gonna move that over to complete, but the Twitter cards markup over to do. Next one is add social plugins. So let's see what your page is like. So it doesn't look like you have any social media plugins like a follow or a share. So I highly recommend you install that on your site. So I'm going to move that over to do. Next one, make sure your site is mobile friendly and make sure your site loads fast. I checked these two checkpoints using a free tool from Google called Pagespeed Insights. This is a really helpful tool that Google will essentially tell you how fast your site is from a scale of 0 to 100. 100 being really fast, 0 being really slow. So the higher the score, the better. And in this case, you are scoring at 41, which is on the lower end. So I highly recommend you running this Pagespeed Insights report and reviewing all of these opportunities to increase the overall site speed of your website. I also see your site is mobile friendly. It is responsive, which is excellent. So I'm going to move the speed one over to complete. Next one is fix outbound broken links. So an outbound broken link is essentially a link on your site that's linking to another website on the internet. You want to make sure those links are not pointing to a broken page or a non-existent page. That's really bad for user experience. So I'm going to move that over to do. Next one is to add schema markup, which will help enhance the SERP visibility. So basically, schema markup is a bit of HTML code that Google reads that informs Google of the overall structure and content of your page, and it will give you a better opportunity to show any 5-star reviews within Google. So if I go back to google.com, so you see this rating here. There's a 5-star rating from 12 reviews, price range $2. So this is pulled from structured data markup, and schema markup helps with that. So you want to install that code on the back end. It looks like you do have schema markup for the days that you are open. And I recommend you increasing that schema markup for other elements as well. Maybe reviews is another one. I don't see that right off the bat. So I'm going to move that schema markup over to do. Next one is use short and descriptive URLs. So a URL is basically the link of your site. So I did notice for the services page under acupuncture, your URL is this. I'm not sure why you have 3 dashes between services and techniques. I recommend you just having 1 dash or yeah, just having one dash, because this looks a little weird. So I definitely recommend you improving your URL structure. Last one is creating a native sitemap. So a native sitemap is different from an XML sitemap in that a native sitemap is used for your website visitors. It's basically one page that lists out all of the pages on your site. So it links to all of the pages on your site. So let's see if you have a native sitemap on your. So I don't believe you have a native sitemap, and that's something that you really want to include. So I'm going to move that over to do. All right, so I'm going to exit out of this filter. So overall, you have quite a bit of checkpoints that did not pass my SEO audit. I will include a link to this checklist so you have it and you can analyze it and go off of this. I really hope you enjoyed this live SEO audit on this chiropractor website. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. If you want me to analyze your site, click the link below to fill out the application form, and I will determine whether or not you are qualified for us to review your site. So with that said, I hope you enjoyed this and have a wonderful day.